I hope you found those exercises useful. I remember when I first went out to work, I was determined that I was going to talk to people about my faith, but I just couldn't find an opening to allow such a conversation to start. So I remember I prayed. I said, Lord, I'm finding it hard to talk about you. Could you please make the openings happen for me? Well, next day as I walked into work, the receptionist was discussing the morning paper with her boss, and on the front cover of it there was a photo of an American minister called Arthur Blessitt. Good name for a preacher, I thought. God had apparently told him to carry a 12-foot cross around the whole world, and he was just setting off doing that, was coming through Britain. He'd put a small wheel on the base of the cross as his first cross had worn out halfway across America. So he'd simply walk around carrying this huge cross on his shoulders and talking to anyone who would listen about Jesus. The receptionist saw that I was looking and said, "What do you think about this then?" She showed me the article. Well, I summoned up all my courage and I said, "Americans, huh?" I walked away. I was furious with myself. But in my prayers, I ended up praying something like this. God, I'm hopeless at this. The only way I'm going to end up talking about my faith is if you give me an opportunity that's impossible for me to duck out of. Please, could you do that? And I'm sorry I'm such a wimp. The next day, well, nothing happened. But the day after, there was another piece in the paper. The press had asked the Archbishop of Canterbury, I think it was Donald Coggan at the time, what he thought about this Arthur Blessitt character, who had caused quite a stir in the media. The Archbishop had said something about us all being called to take up our cross, but maybe not quite so literally, or something like that. Anyway, one of the people in my department, she was a Swedish lady, said, "Paul, you're a Christian, aren't you? What do you think? Should we take Jesus so literally?" To which the two others in my department agreed, "Yeah, what do you think about it, Paul?" And we spent the next 20 minutes or so talking this through. Now, I was only there for a year or so, but I sort of became an unofficial spokesman for God, the church, religion in general after that. The point is that God calls us to be witnesses, and he will be on our side if we ask him to be. And he's clever enough to engineer conversations no matter how hopeless we are about it all. In this session, we've looked at the why of our belief rather than the how or what. Why do we remain faithful when things get difficult in life? This is about the bedrock of our own faith. And hopefully we've enjoyed hearing what others have to say as well. Isn't it amazing, the variety of reasons we have to remain in the faith? But even so, we can understand what other people mean, even if we might not have put it the same way ourselves. And of course, we need all of these reasons out there in the public square, because those outside the household of faith are in the same variety of positions and places as we are. Remember, this is witness we're talking about. The stuff you know to be true because it's your life and it's your faith we're talking about. Simply being honest about what it's like being a Christian believer. You don't need to win arguments or even present a case for Christian faith. You just need to tell it as it is. This prayer triplet thing, it's gold dust if you do it, and it's useless if you don't. It's as simple as that. Jesus promised that if we agree something on earth, that's good enough for heaven to act on it. Wow. Next session, we're going to look briefly at those who are called to be evangelists, and that might well include some of you. And then we're going to look at the work of the Holy Spirit in empowering us for witness. Until then, God bless you. Bye.